All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are talking about the massive shift that is happening at work right now, and that is, of course, artificial intelligence. Look, this isn't some sci-fi concept anymore. It is actively changing how companies think, how we do our jobs, and what it even means to be a leader. So, let's get into it.
Let's just start with a number. A huge one. $4.4 trillion. According to McKinsey, that's how much value generative AI could add to the global economy every single year. We're not talking about a small change here. This is a tidal wave of economic potential.
And here's the most important thing you've got to get right from the start. The AI revolution isn't something on the horizon. It's here. It's the new reality, and it's reshaping how we work and compete as we speak. For any professional, trying to understand this isn't optional anymore.
Okay, so first up, let's get a handle on just how widespread this new reality actually is. We need to talk about the sheer scale of AI adoption across the entire economy.
And you know what's kind of wild? It's that every single industry is ramping up its AI adoption. This isn't just a tech or finance thing. We're seeing it in places you'd never expect, like agriculture, even mining. The takeaway is simple. Every industry is now an AI industry.
But here's the reality check. The ambition, it's huge. Almost everyone wants in on AI. But the execution, well, it's barely even started. This creates what you could call the great AI gap. This massive space between wanting to use AI and actually using it well. And that gap, well, that's where all the action is right now.
So, okay, that's the big picture. But with that huge gap in mind, what does all of this mean for us, in our actual day-to-day jobs? That's what we're going to dig into next. How AI is fundamentally redefining the nature of work itself.
So the big fear you always hear is that AI is coming to replace jobs. But the truth is a little different and a lot more interesting. It's not really about replacement, it's about reassembly. AI is incredible at taking over specific repetitive tasks, which basically changes the shape of our jobs and frees us up to focus on more important stuff. And what you get is this new kind of division of labor. AI handles the grunt work, the routine tasks, the endless data analysis, finding patterns. And that lets us double down on what we humans do best: creativity, solving really tricky problems, and empathy. It's not human versus machine, it's a really powerful human-AI partnership. I saw this quote from a professor at Harvard Business School, and it just nails it. AI won't replace humans, but humans with AI will replace humans without AI. The message here is crystal clear. The threat isn't the tech, the threat is being the person who doesn't know how to use it. Upskilling isn't just a good idea anymore, it's essential. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let's pull the camera back out to the enterprise level. Because this pressure that we feel as individuals, it's being mirrored in a super high-stakes strategic race between entire companies.
To really get the scale of this moment, just think back to, say, 1995, the dawn of the internet. We all saw what happened. The companies that didn't adapt, they just got left in the dust. A lot of experts are saying that we are at that exact same kind of inflection point right now. AI today is what the internet was back then.
And this isn't just some theory. We're already seeing it in the numbers. Revenue per employee has grown nearly 4 times faster in the industries that are most exposed to AI. 4 times. The early adopters aren't just getting a small lead, they are seriously pulling away from the competition. So for anyone in a leadership position, the message from McKinsey is pretty blunt. The biggest risk you face right now isn't dreaming too big with your AI strategy, it's thinking way too small and completely missing the scale of this transformation.
And that brings us to, honestly, the most important part of this whole conversation. Because this isn't just about the technology, it's about the how. It's about the absolutely critical role that people and leadership play in making any of this actually work.
In fact, there's a new term floating around for a problem a ton of companies are facing: the silicon ceiling. It's that invisible wall that passionate employees keep hitting. They want to innovate with AI, but they just can't get the support or the vision from the top. It proves that bottom-up enthusiasm can only get you so far. And the data on this is just wow. Without strong leadership, only about 15% of employees feel good about AI. But when leaders are actively involved in championing it, that number skyrockets to 55%. Leadership isn't just a nice to have, it's the single biggest factor for success.
So what does that leadership actually look like? Well, it boils down to a pretty clear playbook. Number 1, set a clear vision for how AI is going to help the team. 2, genuinely invest in training your people. And 3, Create a culture where it's okay to experiment, to try new things, and even to fail sometimes.
All right, so for our last section, let's be real for a minute. This path forward is not all smooth sailing. We need to talk about the very real challenges that come with navigating this new AI frontier.
So what are the big hurdles everyone's facing? Well, you've got the human side of things, right? Building trust, getting over that natural fear of change. Then there's the practical problem of just weaving these tools into how we work every day. And of course, you have the huge technical issues around things like data privacy, security, and ethics.
And you know, the solution to all these challenges isn't just a better algorithm or a faster chip. The real answer, the common thread through all of this, is a human-centered approach. It's about clear communication, real upskilling, and a deep, genuine investment in your workforce.
The good news is, it seems like companies are starting to get the message. A full 77% of employers say they're planning to upskill their people to get them ready for this new AI-powered world. That shows a pretty broad agreement that people really are the key to all of this.
And in the end, it all comes down to this. AI is the new engine of progress. But an engine, it doesn't go anywhere without a driver. The technology is here, but the direction, the vision, the purpose, that's on us. So the real question isn't what can AI do, it's where will you take it?